What we have here is not a failure to communicate, but a Skil 10-inch job site table saw. We're going to unbox it and get into some of the specs in more detail, and also demonstration afterwards. So this is the box that comes in, and since it's already in the box, I'll just talk about the things that caught my eye when we're looking at it. We were obviously in the market for a table saw because we got to rip some boards. We're going at the new house up here. I got some videos of building my cabin if y'all want to watch it. But anyway, when we get to the inside, we're building a faux beam, and we're going to be doing some countertops later, like some black walnut slab countertops and epoxy on them. But I need to be able to rip them, so that's why we got this. And the three things, well, four things, I guess, three of them here. One of them was price. We paid $300, $299, so basically $300 for this saw. So the price point was pretty good. And I noticed the rip capacity, because the countertops are going to be 24 inches, so I needed to go at least that. And wouldn't you know, 25.5 rip capacity. I'll get into more of this other stuff later. Another thing that caught my eye was we don't have a stand, so just got fold out legs, as you can see. Says it there. Also, the rack and pinion fence, which is also there. We're gonna get it out of the box, and I'll go over some more of the other features in detail. When you first open the box, this is what you see. This styrofoam tray. It's got a lot of accessories in it, and I'll go over that stuff here in just a second. Set that to the side over here for now. So this is what you see, wrapped up in plastic like that. Let me pull that out of the box. So when you get it out of the box, that's what it looks like. It's more styrofoam in the rail system. But like I mentioned before, folding legs, the three or four things I was looking at before is what I already was looking for in the table saw. Obviously price, because I'm on a budget, just like a lot of people. But I want the legs or some kind of setup that it didn't just be set on a table. The rip width and all that stuff I just went through. That's what I was looking for. So that's why this caught my eye. I just Googled, some good budget table saws, and he pulled up a list, and I seen a picture of this one. I said, hey, that's got legs made into it, and this and that. I clicked on it, did some research about the spec, pulled up the specs on it and said, that looks like a good saw. So we're gonna try it. And so let me fold these legs out real quick, and I'll go over that, some other stuff. So these legs, like I said, they fold out. They're up in locked position. Once they're up, they're in a locked position. When they're down, they're in a locked position. You just push these buttons to unlock them, fold them out, and they lock. Same way to fold them up. Push the red button on each one, fold it up. When they are folded up, you have these little, I guess you call them feet or whatever on there to set it on. If you have a table you want to put it on and you want to fold the legs up, they have these little bumpers or whatever you can set them on. So that's pretty nice. Or fold the legs out. Push the button, locks it out. That's it. So while I'm talking about the legs, I'll talk about the adjustable. It has one adjustable leg on here, adjustable foot. As you can see, this flips out, the locking tab flips out, and you can spin it to adjust the height of it, whichever way. So if you're on unlevel surface, and just lock it back like that, it just hooks on the side and you latch it back. So if you're on unlevel surface, you let it up or down so it doesn't wobble on you. So the saw, it comes basically set up already. You really don't have to do anything, no assembly to it except for a few the accessories. There's some zip ties and stuff I gotta cut off real quick. One there, one on this lever, obviously just for like shipping purposes so it doesn't get banged around. That one. Another piece of styrofoam in there. Let me get all this cut off and out of the way so we can go over it a little better. I mentioned you didn't put anything together, which this is just the knob for the rack and pinion fence, and it comes with a bolt with a lock washer and this Allen key tool, which also has a Phillips head end on it. I'm gonna attach it real quick. I got some blue Loctite I'm gonna put in there. It's got the lock washer, like a split lock washer, but I'm gonna go ahead and put a little thread locker on there anyway, just to make sure it doesn't come out unless I ever want to take it out. I'll get that in first so I can adjust the fence and show you how that goes. So when you first do that, install that, you stick it in there. It has notches that slide up on there. You slide it up on there, put the bolt in, snug it down. That's another reason I use Loctite, so I didn't have to get it super, super tight. Just snug it down pretty good and don't have to worry about it, because that's polymer. It would be better if that was aluminum, but I mean, polymer's fine for that, just for a knob. Some of the accessories, obviously, you got your book, comes with it. You got your miter gauge, your anti-kickback, and your push stick, and then like a blade guard. There's the model number right there. Most people don't mention the manual, I just thought I'd mention it. It has a few things in here, you know, obviously the safety warnings, blah, 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 all that stuff, symbols. Got some assembly instructions and adjustments, whatnot. So a neat feature about this, you got your push stick here. It's got a storage for that. You just put it right in there, and it's right there handy dandy. So when you need it, pull it out, use it, just put it back in. That's nice. Obviously, anti-kickback, I recommend using. I'll get that on there. And then your blade. I mean, some people don't like using the guard, but I mean, that's up to you. You know, safety first. This, I didn't mention, it's got a 45 degree for your dust collection stuff. You can put it in there, blow it straight down, turn it, you know, over here, however far you want it. That's pretty neat. I actually like that a lot. Actually, you can kind of angle where your dust goes. It gives you here some instructions for fine adjustment, calibration of stuff. This here also holds that. If you don't want to use it, just clip it right in there and it'll sit right there. You also here have your splitter right here behind the blade to help prevent kickback also. So your blade guard goes on there just like this. It's got a lever you pull up. So you hook, you got a little bar you hook in this notch and let it down, and you hold up on this lever until it locks all the way down, then you let off and it's locked in place. These can slide up, and it also has a lock right here. If you pull them up all the way, they lock into this tab. Locking the tab right there to stay up, and to release, let's see if I can do this one-handed. You just pick up like that and you pull it out of that slot. So to put it back in, you line that up with that slot, let it down, pull up on the lever, and lock it in place like that. Also, so your kickback here goes in right there. You just press this lever and pull out on it. And if you can see that slot, get down here, I can show you a little better. If you see that slot and that notch, it fits right in there and locks into place just like that. See, it doesn't come out. And then that's your anti-kickback, which it rides on the table here, but you know, whatever. So for the purposes of the video, I'm just gonna set the guard and the blade kickback piece over there to the side. And also this miter gauge, you know, you can adjust, it goes in the slot. You can adjust it to where you want it and push it to make cuts if you want to use that. It's plastic polymer. You can get better ones, some aluminum ones or whatever. But I won't really be using this anyway, but it's a nice feature that comes with it. So I mentioned one of the features I liked was the rack and pinion fence. That's the one that caught my eye. You can see under there, rack and pinion style to adjust your fence. And to lock it down, you just push that lever so it doesn't move. Flip it up, and then you adjust it to wherever. Right here, it has your dial indicator for your adjustments. And it's also adjustable too with that screw to get fine tune it. You can use a tape measure or whatever to set that where it's exactly right, and then go from there. Another thing you'll notice, you have two different measurements here. The top one is for your different spots for your fence. Top one rips capacity is 22 inches. The black one, which is the second one here, is the one that goes to 25.5. And then it's the same on the other side, but you drop, so you can see the measurements there. drop it down, and that notch lines up with that stud. Push it down on there and then lock it into place, and it's the same way on this side. It just locks in right there. As I mentioned before, the rip capacity on it is 25.5 inches. That's one of those things that caught my eye. You can run it on out here 25.5 inches, so you can rip. Like I said, the countertop I need is going to be 24 inches, so I need it at least a little more than that, so I can trim some off each side. So right here, as you can see, you have this wood support that pops out, and you can flip it over like that, and run it all the way in and just butt straight against. If you want to run it all the way in, just butt straight and smooth up against that to make your cut. Or if you're way out here, just flip it over for your wood to sit on. That way, if you're way out here, your wood doesn't fall down and you end up messing up your cut. It supports that because it sits flush with this surface here, which, removable fence is standard. You can put it over here. So your left side, you can also move your fence over here. And your left side rip capacity is 14 inches. The blade speed under load is 4,600 RPMs. It's got this kind of cover, so if you want to turn it on, you have to purposefully turn it on. And to cut it off, instead of just pushing the button, you can push this right here and it'll kill it. You just slap it real quick to kill it. And it helps, like I said, keep you from turning it on accident. So I do like that. That's also polymer, that's fine. But to get to your blade, you push this, pull this out. That's just like a polymer too. It'll take a dado stack to cut grooves and stuff. That's one thing that's nice about these. A lot of them won't take that, but this one does take it. The dado set you can put in here, it'll accept an 8-inch by 5/8 dado set, so you can rip notches, change your blades. It comes well. I'll get to that in a second, but you have 2 wrenches it's supposed to come with it. You put one on that side to lock it in place, and then you put a wrench on this side to take the nut off to change the blade. This standard one that comes with it is 10-inch. So your blade itself is a 24 tooth, like I said, Skil blade. We'll probably be upgrading this to a better Diablo blade. Your throat plate also has these little adjustment screws, so if you need to make some adjustments there, and it's got a little bit more, it's a thin metal. It's not aluminum, but it's just plain like steel plate there on that. So right here you have your tool storage. It's got a wing nut, and these are your wrenches. Obviously one for the nut side, and this one you can see that side. You can also get an upgraded throat plate. I'm pretty sure Skil makes one for this saw. It's a little bit better. Here you have a handle for a carry, like I was mentioning. When you got your legs folded up, you can carry it right here. If you're not carrying it by these handles, just setting it around, you can carry it off with that handle, and it's got like more of a rubber grip to it. Also right here, I don't have it clipped on there, but that is storage for your blade guard. You can hook that on there, and I'll put that on there in a second and show you. Here you got your blade height adjustment. Obviously go left to lower it, go right to raise it. It goes up to 3.5 inches that it'll cut. You got your lock lever here. Pull it up and you can change your angle of your blade. And then when you get where you want it, lock it back down. That's nice. Another good feature is, I noticed right here when I first got it out of the box, it's got these like carry handles on each side here. So you can reach and grab it and pick it up there and there. And that's how I got it out and got the plastic off the box. That's nice too. So when everything's in there, you just pick it up and set it wherever you want to. And you can fold the legs down and just grab, one of the bars to tote it, with a handle. But just for moving it like that, those handles, those are nice. Cord storage here, and you just wrap them around and then clip it on there. So that's storage for your miter gauge. You put the end in there and then clip this side in this clip to hold your miter gauge. The table dimensions itself is 24 inches by 25 inches. And with the legs extended, it's 32 inches. With the legs folded, it's 14 inches. Dimensions in several places. Like I said, 10 inch, has a 15 amp motor and a 3-year warranty. It's registration required. Obviously, they make you go on there, register it so they'll cover it on warranty. And obviously your motor is located right there. So I'm gonna mention a few, I'll go through some pros and cons that I see just off the bat after unboxing. I didn't mention this, it's aluminum, but it's solid, so it's good. And then after I do the demo, if I notice any other cons, I'll mention those. But right off the bat, just some minor stuff. Where your miter gauge storage is and your cord wrap, it's a little in the way. I feel like the cord storage here should be up just a little higher because there's really nothing in the way, so that you could wrap without getting in the way of your miter gauge. Don't know why they did that, but you know, no biggie. It needs a stop button like a blade lock button. You can lock the blade and just use a regular standard wrench, box wrench on this side to get it loose. That would be perfect. They expect you to fit a thin wrench down there. I don't know if you can even see it on that right there. That was absolutely dumb. I don't know why they made it like that. Another thing, the lock handle is polymer, which for your fence, which it's fine. Polymer is pretty strong. I mean, if you think about stuff like a Glock, they make, or pistols nowadays, they make a lot of the frames out of polymer, and that's fine, like such as this. I just feel like that particular piece should probably be aluminum or something, because it's going to be pushed up and down all the time. This, you just turn it. It's probably not too big of a deal, but if they would have just made a couple of these pieces aluminum, would have been better, because that's also polymer. This, the fence, it is aluminum, and it's nice. I feel like it should have been slightly thicker. Of course, if you make it thicker, slightly more heavier, which not that much, and more expensive. But if they would have made this a little bit thicker aluminum, I feel like it would be a little better. And then like the polymer pieces here, that's just a cover. Doesn't really matter. You could upgrade it with aluminum or not, but it is what it is. So I think that's all the cons that I mentioned. But again, at this price point, the rail's got to be thicker. The knobs, if they made them out of aluminum, that would have been, more money. So they would have had to run the price up. I think they did that stuff to keep it down to that price point. The lever itself, it's fine, but I feel like there's, like I said, a few things like that specifically. The knobs seem to be okay. That I would want aluminum, but it is what it is. For the price, it's right around what you expect for $300. Now the pros, I pretty much mentioned them already, what I like, but well, I especially mentioned some of them right off the bat, but I do like this, how you got the kill switch in the cover. That's nice, that's a pro. The storage features, like for your push stick, for your miter gauge, for your dust collection tube and all that. Storage, that's nice, I do like that. Folding legs, that was one thing caught my eye. I already said that. That's nice because you can put it on a table or like this. And so even if you got sawhorses with a piece of plywood, you can say use on for a table. You still, you got to drag it or move it. If you want to tote it somewhere else, this, you can just move it and set it by itself. And I do like that. It's considered, a job site table saw. Obviously, the rack and pinion, I already mentioned that. That's nice. That's a pro. So when I first was looking for one, I searched Bauer. I have a Bauer 10-inch sliding miter saw. I have a video on that if you want to check it out. I think I also have one on a isolating multi-tool. Anyway, my drill and impact, they're all Bauer. My dad gave me one several years ago for a birthday present. That's where I first tried them. And ever since then, that's all I've been using. So I searched for that, but they don't have one. And, Harbor Freight's got some other brands, Warrior brand, Hercules, whatever. But so if Bauer could make one of these like this, but with those upgraded features that I just mentioned, for the same price, or even one, made with the polymer stuff like this for a little cheaper, say 250, $50 cheaper, that would be a heck of a deal also. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. But I think I've mentioned about all the specs I can mention we'll go and do a demo on this. I gotta rip some boards for a few things at the house, and I'll just rip a few other ones just for demonstration purposes, and let y'all see how it does. And if there's something else I notice about it while I'm cutting that I like or don't like, whatever, I'll mention it there. So I got some 1x8 by 12s. I had cut a couple already and I forgot to cut my camera on. My run out table is just some sawhorses with a board on top. I'm gonna rip a few of these cuts that I need for a fake beam, which I'm doing a video on. Then I'll just make some random cuts with just some 1x, other pieces, short pieces, 1x, 2x's, whatever, just so you can see how it cuts. So as you can see, I mean, that's like 1/8 strip, just ripped off this whole thing. So now I changed my angle a little bit so you can see it coming straight through. I got some 1x cedar and a piece of 2x4. I'll rip real quick. Nice smooth cut. That cedar smells good too, dude. Rip right through a 2x, nice and smooth. So I'm going to use a miter gauge just to make a cut, even though I really don't, really use it. I have a miter saw for most of that, but I'm going to use it just to cut a piece. I know normally, like if you're going to cut an angle like this, you just use your miter saw, chop saw, whatever. But just for the purposes of using the miter gauge, I'm just going to do it like this, and I can, you can change your degrees, whatever. I'm just going to slide it through. I'll do an angle real quick, just for a random angle. Let's just say a 30 degree cut on that. Just wherever. I mean, I'll even roll that out of the way. So I wish I had some a piece of 4x4, some plywood to rip, just to show you the rip capacity out here, way out wide. Using this piece and all that, but I don't have I have a little piece of plywood, but I don't have one that I can use, just a scrap piece for demonstration. When I buy the saw again, absolutely. for $300, the price, I mean, you really can't beat it. You know, if you're a professional cabinet maker, sure, I mean, you cut all the time. Maybe you want like one of the high-end ones, but man, for the money, I would buy this. I'd buy this sucker all day long. The only thing I can't really attest to is the longevity, obviously, because it's a newer saw. In my opinion, that's mostly going to come down to how long the motor in it lasts, you know, before it burns out, which... And I just did a quick search, and it looked like that Skil makes a replacement motor for this too, so you can keep using the table whenever it goes out. And that all depends on like how it's kind of like anything else, how you take care of it. You know, in a car, if you keep the maintenance up and you take care of it, it'll last a lot longer. Same way with this. If you're ripping through boards fast and bogging it down the whole time, sure, it probably won't last as long. But if you just make nice, smooth, easy cuts, you know, let the blade speed stay up, I mean, it should last a long time. So, but we'll find out after a couple of years and like lots of cuts. We'll see how it does. I may do a video on it then, but so far I give it a thumbs up. I hope y'all like this video. I'm gonna wrap it up right here.